Werewolf here. I want to tell you about the most based, red-pilled wedding that I've ever been to. Mostly in that they threw a fun wedding while cutting a lot of costs for other things that no one actually really cares about. They're just there because we don't even know why they're there or how these traditions even formed. Now let's talk about some of the indirect costs here, which was their most greatest savings. There are no bridesmaids and no groomsmen. Now, they saved a ton of money in this because, I knew the couple and I was afraid that I would be asked to be in this as a groomsman. And at the time, I was working a wage job that would have meant at least a few days missed from work to travel, so I'd have to pay for the travel. I wouldn't be paid for those days I was off from work. I'd have to go to a stupid rehearsal dinner, get a matching suit with the other guys, meaning more expenditures and more money lost from all this for everyone. Likewise, the women would have also had to buy expensive matching dresses and other accessories. So this couple had no rehearsal dinner, again saving a ton of money on that. No bachelor partying or wedding shower. I think bachelor parties are pretty gay. If you're a single guy and you even use that time to go out to, say, a supermarket or a dollar store, you could potentially meet someone there rather than having to go to this sausage fest drinking with a bunch of dudes exclusively. It's usually like something like camping these days. They don't even do the woman jumping out of the cake thing anymore. At least for the one chick for 20 dudes, That's better than nothing, I guess. The wedding was outdoors, the same location as the reception. A canopy was there in case it rained. They paid a photography student that they knew. How many pictures do you really look at as the years go by? Probably fewer and fewer, I'd imagine. A nice homemade cake, and they didn't play everything cheap either. The food was great. They had a small classical quartet playing there, and it happened to be probably the most fun wedding I've been to. They also held it on a neighbor's property, so they could get the property at a lower cost for the day. Another smart money wedding was also of a friend that I had. He knew that his mom would freak out, make a big deal, and get overly involved in the process. So what he did was he bought plane tickets for his parents. He didn't tell them. When they got there, he had the wedding on the beach. Very small wedding. I think about how much money our culture spends on these things, half of which end in divorce, and we're not really confronting what the reasons are for this and what things we could be doing now to ensure stronger bonds that are more enduring. For engagement rings mined by children laboring in the Congo, to entire events for choosing the right wedding cake, where you bring a professional photographer along, to select from different cakes. For instance, what if instead of an expensive engagement ring, we start doing something cheaper? We put that money towards a home or investment, and then if the wedding hits if the marriage hits the 10-year mark, buy a nice ring, and you might have a little interest from having invested that money. Most, if they knew where these add-on traditions, like bridesmaids, originated from, they would probably reject them. They're based on superstitions. The bridesmaids were supposed to protect the bride from evil spirits on that day of the wedding. Unfortunately, it's almost all collective conscious now to believe that we need to spend on all of these things. Look, if our minds can be molded, our minds can be changed, and we need to be smart, cunning, and at the same time, I think we can do this in an honest fashion and ultimately extract the consumerism out of these and make more room for the real meaning and connections. Well, until next time, life, liberty, and